All right, so we're just taking. All right. It says no. No. So we're just taking a closer look at this tractor, and before we start it up, and when the hood's not attached, I guess I might as well just set the thing off. It's not bolted down. Let me do that real quick. There. Now it won't slam on us. So, as you can see, this battery tray is shot. So I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and get the chunks out of here. We'll blow this out. We're still going to have to set a battery down in here, but I think we got enough support where we can get a battery in here. Now, if we've got to bleed the injector lines, I don't think this battery tray, if you don't know on these, it you unbolt this and it hinges out. So, you know, if you needed to bleed the injector lines, which are under the battery tray, you can do that. But this one, probably as soon as we unbolt it right here, you know, it's just going to come apart. So we're going to try to leave it here, and we're going to bleed the rest of the fuel system. I got a new fuel filter we're going to put in it, and then we will see if we can get this thing to start. And if we have to bleed it, we may have to do a little work on this tray or something. I need to look and see if I can get one. Well, I know I can get one. I've seen them as cheap as like $39, but what I haven't been able to figure out, I need to look more closely at this one to see how it's made, to see if that's the same one that I saw for $39, because I don't know. But yeah, we've got quite a bit of gunk in here. And like I said, they said it had been running a year and a half ago, but I have a feeling they said they had just had land cleared. They paid someone to clear the land, and you know, they've owned it, but it had grown up, and I kind of think the tractor had gotten grown in too. And you can see it's just, you know, looking through here, you know, there's just stuff everywhere. And then, where did I see it? I'll show you. You know, just stuff all in it. Like that. It must have fallen out. There was a vine weaved in through one of the wheel spokes. I guess it fell out. Must have fell out on my way home. But yeah, definitely has been sitting for a long time. It was a thick vine. It was, you know, half-inch thick. So, you know, and you just got stuff, spider webs and just stuff everywhere. You know, and you got stuff like that. You know. And stuff like that. All in it. So, and it looks like, you know, some critter was chewing on that. So, it's like the water pump's bad on it. Maybe why it's low on water, or I don't know if it's low or out. So I think what I'm going to do, let me put this cap back on there. We're going to do some cleanup first. I'm going to get the air blower and blow this thing all off. And after I do that, I'll come back and we will, I think I'm going to clean the diesel tank out. It's empty, so I can get in there and spray some carb cleaner, or maybe just some diesel, and on a rag, and just kind of get it on a stick and run it along the bottom of the tank and clean it up. Just to, since it's empty anyway, we might as well clean it up. And then we will go about, I'll get a test light, and we need to start checking why we have no power. You know, we'll start checking at the ignition switch. Maybe we've just got a bad ignition switch, or you know, whatever. We'll troubleshoot it and see what's going on. I'm also going to get a piece of emery cloth and clean this up, so once we do get it running, that we're not tearing up the seals as bad. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some fluid in here. Alright, that's looking a little better. You can see all the stuff. Lots of stuff. I took some emery cloth, polished that up. I mean, it's rusted down in there, but it took the stuff that was larger diameter than the shaft. I guess that's what I want to say. The rest of it, you know, it started polishing the actual shaft part, and that's just, you know, lower now than the rest of the shaft. So polished it up as best I could with some emery cloth, both sides. That should help protect the seals. And then I just sprayed some PB Blaster on there, just to kind of help oil it to keep it from rusting. Like I said, did both sides, blew it all off. Got the tank, put this on the end of a stick and rubbed down in the bottom of the tank. Looks pretty clean. Got that in there. I sprayed just a little bit of brake cleaner on there, and there was a little bit of diesel still in the tank, just to kind of help break up anything that was on the bottom. And it's pretty clean. So what we're gonna do now is, I think, and I filled up that gallon jug with water and poured in it, and it took about 3/4 a gallon of water, and it's full. So it had water in it, or coolant, and it's not leaking anywhere that I can tell. So most likely what I'm thinking is the water pump's leaking, and it was just low on water. So for right now, it's holding. We'll see if it stays that way. But I don't see any drips or anything, you know, from the radiator or anything. It'll be different once it's under pressure. We'll see. But I filled it up a while ago, and there's no drips anywhere. The block looks all good. So I guess I can show you all the other side too. Looks much better over here than it did. You can actually see down in there. These two injectors have yellow marks to me, that or they're painted yellow. Probably swapped in from maybe an industrial model, I'm guessing. That one's still blue, so somebody probably put 2 used injectors on it. There's blue on them too, though. I don't know if some of the industrial tractors were blue and then they painted them yellow, because there's blue and yellow paint on them. Looks like it's hard to tell which is on top, if it's the blue or if it's the yellow. I want to say the blue may be over the yellow. Yeah, the blue's over the yellow, so I don't know. Or maybe that's just, maybe the injectors are yellow and they painted them blue, but this one, I don't see any yellow on that one, so who knows. After we get the ignition system working on it, I say ignition, it's not ignition, it's the, what do I want to say, starting system, working on it. We're going to go through and let's see, here's that other shaft on this side. We'll go through and I've got a new fuel filter on it, or a new fuel filter for it that we'll put on it, and then we'll put some diesel in it. This is leaking and I don't think I have any way to repair it. I don't know if maybe, yeah, it's, I don't know, I might see if I can, maybe there's an O-ring in there. I'll have to look at that. I'm gonna have to try to get that to stop leaking before I can try to start it, I guess. But I might have to just figure something out for now and then order a new one. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely leaking. Anyway, so let me start troubleshooting the wiring on this. If I find anything, I'll let you know. I'm gonna stick the battery in it. I left the key in the house. I need to go get the key for it. And then I'm just gonna get my test light and start going around and checking different locations to see if I've got power, and we'll see where it stops. I don't have a wiring diagram for this thing, so we're just gonna try to figure it out as we go. It's got Lucas electrical system on it, so I'm not thrilled about that, but you know, evidently it's worked well on these tractors, so I guess maybe Lucas did something well. I'm not hating on Lucas too much, but I've had other vehicles with Lucas electrical systems, and the other vehicle I had a Jaguar and then also MG, and both of them, everything else was okay with the vehicles, but you always had electrical issues. So I'm not trying to hate on them too much, but that's just my experience. So let's see what we can do. I'm also gonna spray this down. I want to take this off and just look in here, make sure everything looks okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get that off. It's looking pretty sad. All right, I'll be back. So I pulled the ignition switch out, started looking at stuff, and I had no power anywhere on the ignition switch. So came over here, pulled this out. Whoa, that might be why we have no power. Pulled the dash out. Lovely mouse nest right there, and the wiring is just chewed to pieces. So I don't know. It's a diesel with a mechanical shutoff. All we need to make it run is power to the solenoid. So I'm going to just make a jumper wire to the solenoid, and we're going to do that for now. We won't have any gauges, so we won't let it run long. But yeah, we're probably going to we're going to have to figure out something. I don't know. I may pull all this out and I might try to find a wiring diagram and see if I can fix this, or I may just see how much a harness is for this thing. Yeah, it's just chewed up. it may not be that much for just a whole wiring harness. Alright, I'm gonna pull that out and blow it out. Yeah. So what do y'all think? A year and a half? I don't think so. I'm gonna say, like I said, 2 to 3 years. I'm gonna bet it's been even longer than that. That's a lot of damage. I know it can happen quick, but I think this thing's been sitting quite a long time. So let's let me make up a little jumper wire, and we'll see if we can get this thing to turn over. And if we can get it to turn over, we're gonna put some diesel in it. We're gonna clean the or change the fuel filter, and we'll bleed all the air out of the system and see if it'll start up. I've got it in neutral. Both shifters are in neutral. It is still strapped down to the trailer, just in case it was stuck in gear or something. But like I said, I verified both shifters are in neutral, so we're in neutral twice. So let me make up a little jumper wire, or get maybe just a little test lead, alligator test lead, and I'll see if we can get this thing to turn over. Found a little jumper wire. I had it already rigged up. So let's see. Just got an alligator clip on the end, so I pulled the wire off the solenoid. Let's hook the battery back up. And we are going to send power to the solenoid. It cranks over. Let's see. We are in the trying to see if we're in the stop or the run position. I think we are in the stop position. So the shut-off thing is not working. You know what? It turns over. We're going to leave it in the stop position. I don't want it cranking up right now. Okay, we're going to need some more battery than this. And so let me get another battery and some jumper cables. And we're going to do the fuel filter. But it does crank over.